What's up, party people? And welcome to STONIECAST number 195 and season 6, episode 21 of Thoughts and Hunches, making money in bunches and sucker punches. It's your boy Stoney coming back at you for the 195th time, and I'd like to welcome all of my fellow lowlifes, hoodlums, criminals, scumbags, heathens, shady characters, fugitives from justice, scoundrels, altar boys with unhealthy relationships with their priests, hustlers, wise guys, foul-mouthed raging alcoholics, hooligans, ML players that have got into a fight with Bryce Harper. You know who you are. Thanks for watching. Cheats, gangsters, fienders with abusive language, degenerates. Let's face it, anybody with a massive gambling problem, treat. If you're new to the show, hey, congratulations. You probably fit into one or a few of those categories, so welcome, because you're now one of us. One of us. One of us. One of us. Gooba gobba, one of us. We accept it. One. All I got to say is know the reference. Hey, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down here in the lower right-hand corner. Ring that bell. That way you can get notified every time I put out a new video. To spread the word is also very easy. Just tell other degenerates, fienders, and scumbags you know to go to YouTube and enter Thoughts and Hunches right in the search bar. That'll take you to my page and you can get dialed into everything that I give you. Also, if you're new and you don't know what's what with this channel, it's college and pro football winners, MLB playoff winners, and college basketball winners. And I just give you picks. No player props and absolutely no parlays. Why? Because I like my money. I don't like giving it away. Y'all see the odds on the parlay and you think, lottery, oh my God, I can win 15 to 1. No, you can't. You're going to lose it. Just give it to me. I'll handle your money better than you can if you continue to play parlays. Now, the books, they don't expect a guy like me to deliver this many winners. I'm an outlier and I'm a disruptor. I'm like the Beastie Boys. I disrupt.
Step inside the party, disrupt the whole scene.
That's what I do. I go to the mattresses every single week and I get the info for you to get you to the window with a ticket to cash. Now, before I get to the picks, as usual, I have some thoughts.
Give me all you got. Listen, give me all you got.
I want to start with a shout out to my girl Janelle. Absolutely fantastic weekend. Love you, sweetie. We had a blast. Can't wait till you come back. I can't wait to come out there. Great to see you, as always. Love you, mama. Now, I'm going to start with some housekeeping by letting you all know that this is the last Wednesday STONIECAST until further notice. Starting next week, STONIECAST will now post on Friday nights in front of all these crazy Saturdays that are chock full of NCAA hoops. I will also have the NCAA Football National Championship pick in STONIECAST 196 next Friday. So come championship week and the beginning of March, I'll add a few other STONIECASTs on other days, depending on the schedule, but I'll keep you posted on when they're all going to drop. The NCAA transfer portal has begun, and big names are already filling it up with thousands. Yes, I am not joking. I said thousands of student athletes in the portal. I'll address all those in a week or two as more players enter and any movement that's going on. But right now it's just complete, oh my God, it's chaos. Now, my takes this week are on the NFL. Black Monday was 2 days ago. And Arizona's Jonathan Gannon, Cleveland's Kevin Stefanski, Atlanta's Raheem Morris, Las Vegas' Pete Carroll, and last night, Baltimore's John Harbaugh were all given their walking papers, right? To join the Titans and the Giants, who already fired their coaches during the season. Now, I could do 5 minutes on Pete Carroll alone, but I won't. All I'm going to say is that has there ever been a school or a franchise that he's left in good shape? Talk about complete shambles everywhere the guy goes. You're 74 years old, Peter. Leave and just retire with your millions so no one has to see you glad-handing everyone on the sidelines and chomping your gum. Now we'll see who the genius Mark Davis hires, right? Now Tom Brady is thrust into the spotlight with not only choosing another Raider head coach that will only last 1 or 2 seasons like all the others before, but also what to do with the number 1 pick in the draft. Dante Moore? Maybe. I don't know. Speaking of the AFC West, the entire division combined for 0 offensive touchdowns on Sunday. I don't know if that's ever happened, that an entire division didn't score an offensive touchdown, but it's alarming. Now, speaking of Sunday, damn, was that a painful watch. The NFL has wanted to go to an 18-game schedule for a while now. And while it's not happening yet, it will. And what will it accomplish aside from more money? There were so many horrible games on Sunday. Another week of that will truly be bad for the sport. As for this coming weekend, I'll make my annual statement that I do every year during this week. I will not, under any circumstances, refer to it as NFL's Super Wild Card Weekend. The NFL started using the word super a couple years ago when they added more teams to the playoffs. And now everybody uses it, everybody in the press, and ESPN can't get enough of it. That's all they say, right? 32 teams in the league and 14 make the playoffs now. That's just horrible. There shouldn't be more than 10, 5 from each conference. But as for the word super, you will not hear me utter that word again unless I'm referencing the Super Bowl. For all the shit that I love talking about the NFL, I got to give credit in that this is the first playoff in a long while that there's really no clear-cut favorite going in. And I believe any one of 5 teams can win the title. That's exactly what the NFL wants. That's exactly what the NFL needs. Although sometimes it is nice to have a villain or someone to root against. Now, as for the week that was, on NFL Sunday, I wound up 6-7 during the day, which was absolutely brutal to watch in a bunch of meaningless games. The good news is that I hit the Steelers with a sprinkle on Sunday night, and the day before on Saturday, I hit both the Panthers and the Seahawks with a sprinkle to wind up 9-7 with a couple of money lines in there to close out the NFL's regular season. In college bowl season, I started the week on a massive heater by stacking winners every day for 3 straight days. And even despite a 4-4 Friday, I still closed out the college football week at 18-11-1. Don't get much better than that. In college hoops, an interesting thing happened. I had 2 days where I was 500 for the day and 4 days where I was under 500. But the one winning day was massive as I dropped a 17-6-1 on the books on Saturday. Add it all up, and it's just another winning week. So now let's take a peek at the numbers. Last week, 59 wins, 44 losses, 1 push. 57.28%, another solid week any way you look at it. NCAA football postseason, 65 wins, 38 losses, 1 push. 63.11%. The large is here. It's evident. I can barely hold up my wallet. It's so heavy. Thanks, Josh. NFL, end of the regular season. 169 wins, 121 losses, 3 pushes, 58.27%. That's a solid way to end the regular season. NCAA basketball, 200 for the season, 269 wins, 195 losses, 3 pushes, 57.97%, just a hair under 58. The degenerate special, 16-9. That's now 64%. I've now hit 4 straight late night get-rights. Thursday night, 26-15, 63.41%. That's as good as it gets. Sunday night, 13 wins, 7 losses, 1 push, 65%. It's just huge, and it has been all season long. Pittsburgh just, added to it last Sunday. So overall, all 20 episodes, every single STONIECAST I've done this season, over 1,300 picks in, 761 wins, 538 losses, and 11 pushes. That's 58.58% for the season. It doesn't get any better than that. I mean, that can only mean one thing.
Wow, winning.
Yeah, boy, Charlie. Tell him. You just let him know. Now, once again, I want you to remember that all these picks are 100% free. So for all the touts out there that are charging you for picks and giving you 75 to 80% winners, stop. Come on, we all know you're full of shit. Plus, you're charging for these picks.
Oh!
I mean, how do you do that? With me, it's very simple. Just come to YouTube every week. I'll give you my plays for free. Plus, I want you all to know that these are all bets that I'm personally going to make with my own money. So I'm not just throwing darts at a board and blindly picking random games. All right, away we go. Episode number 21.
Just win, baby.
That's right, Al. You let him know. The new week began yesterday with a huge schedule of college hoops. I began the day 2-8, and I was suicidal. But then I hit 8 in a row to close out the night, 10-8. Sure, that's not great, but it's doable. And it gets me out ahead in front of a busy week of college hoops and the CFP tomorrow and Friday and the NFL this weekend. Let's take a peek at tonight's docket, and let's try to make some more money before football takes over. 6:30 Eastern on Big Ten Network at the Xfinity Center in College Park. I'll roll with Indiana, -7.5 on the road at Maryland. IU's only loss in the last 3 weeks was to Kentucky, while Maryland has lost 4 out of 5. I hate laying this many points on the road in conference, but who's your daddy is the play. 7 Eastern on ESPN Plus at the Riley Center in St. Bonaventure. I like Richmond on the road, catching 7 at St. Bonaventure. With the Atlantic 10 Conference now entering their second week of play, these two are firmly going to be in the mix for the next 2 months. And this is just too many to lay against the talented and deep Richmond squad. 7 Eastern on SEC Network at Humphrey Coliseum in Starkville. Give me Mississippi State -1.5 at home versus Oklahoma. Both teams come in red hot right now and won their SEC openers, and I believe Oklahoma's the better squad, but the Bulldogs are already 6-1 at home, and the Sooners are in trouble tonight. 7 Eastern on ESPN Plus at the McLeod Center in Cedar Falls. I'll take Northern Iowa -2 at home over Belmont. These are arguably the two best teams in the Missouri Valley this year, and I have a feeling they're going to meet 3 times, with 2 in league play and once in the conference championship. Keep an eye on senior guard Trey Campbell for the Panthers. I like Belmont a lot, and their campus is only 10 minutes from here, but Campbell's going to lead UNI, and they're the play tonight. 7 Eastern on Peacock at Amica Mutual Pavilion in Providence. I'm on 4th-ranked Connecticut, laying 9 on the road at Providence. The Friars are top-heavy with 2 excellent players, but not much else, and a very soft bench. UConn is paced by solo ball, but the Huskies' depth is just too much to back away from here. 7 Eastern on CBS Sports Network at the Siegel Center in Richmond. I'm going to dance with St. Louis here on the road, catching 1.5 at Virginia Commonwealth with a sprinkle on the money line.
Sprinkle me, man.
Just like that. 2 of the best A10 squads meet up tonight, as neither team has lost since November. This is going to be a good one, and I like VCU, but tonight I'm on the Billikens. 7 Eastern on ACC Network at Castle Coliseum in Blacksburg. I like Virginia Tech -3 and a chunk at home versus Stanford. Vatek's loaded and deep, while Stanford is big. Swingman Amani Hansberry is lighting it up right now for the Hokies. And the travel for Stanford in the ACC is just brutal. Vatek minus the points at home. 7 Eastern on ESPNU at Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Winston-Salem. Give me Miami. Catching 2.5 on the road at Wake Forest with a sprinkle.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me.
And a boy 40. You let him know. 2 very good ACC teams meet up here. The ACC is a lot better this year than it was last year. And as dangerous as Wake is at home, Miami's Malik Reneau. Oh, my God. Reneau. I think it's Reneau or Reneo. But, God, man, this boy can play. He's on another planet right now. Canes on the road. 7 Eastern on the Deuce at Rupp Arena in Lexington. I like Missouri here on the road, plus 12 and a hook at Kentucky. The Wildcats are loaded and the much better team, but Mizzou, they're shooting it really well right now, and they're going to make enough threes to cover while on the road at Rupp. Big East action at 7 Eastern on FS1 at the Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. Give me Xavier catching 4.5 on the road at Marquette. Neither school's played that well in the early going, but I like Xavier's scrappiness here after Marquette's lost 6 in a row. Musketeers on the road. 8 Eastern on Peacock at Foster Pavilion in Waco. I'm all over third-ranked Iowa State here, laying 4.5 on the road at Baylor. ISU is elite, and in the loaded Big 12, the Cyclones are looking like the team to beat along with Arizona, top-ranked Arizona. Baylor's fine, but they're in serious trouble tonight. 8 Eastern at Credit Union 1 Arena in Chicago. I'll take Southern Illinois minus 1.5 at Illinois, Chicago. The Salukis are deep, and they're playing very well right now, while Chicago, they're just overmatched. 8:30 Eastern on Big Ten Network at Mackey Arena in West Lafayette. Give me Washington on the road, catching 18 at 5th-ranked Purdue. The Boilermakers are good enough to be a Final Four team, and they're going to win this one easily, but that's a lot of lumber to lay in conference, so I'm on the Huskies. 9 Eastern on ESPNU at Littlejohn Coliseum in Clemson. I'm going to roll with 24th-ranked Southern Methodist on the road, catching 4.5 at Clemson with a sprinkle. Oops, I said sprinkle. Earl, where?
Sprinkle me more.
That kid, Earl. I knew you were there. I like Clemson to do some damage in the ACC, but SMU is severely undervalued, especially here. Guard Boopy Miller, he's lighting it up right now. Mustangs on the road. 9 Eastern on FS1 at the McHale Center in Tucson. I'm on Kansas State plus 18 on the road at top-ranked Arizona. KSU's a good team that'll probably get overwhelmed in the Big 12 this season, but PJ Haggerty's scoring on everyone right now, all the time. In the Battle of the Wildcats, Zona wins, but KSU cashes. 9 Eastern on the Deuce at Memorial Gym right here in Music City, USA. The game of the night features 2 ranked SEC schools, and I like 13th ranked Alabama plus 4.5 at number 11 Vanderbilt. The Commodores are unbeaten, but now their schedule gets tougher, and I like the Tide here behind super sophomore LeBaron Philon to cover and hit over 180.5 because, well, they always go over. That's 2 separate plays. 9 Eastern on Peacock at the Marriott Center in Provo. I'll take 9th-ranked Brigham Young minus 17 at home versus Arizona State. I like the Sun Devils' toughness, and I like Bobby Hurley, but they're in the same boat as Kansas State in the loaded Big 12. BYU's one of the nation's best, and they're going to roll here. And finally, to close out the night at 9 Eastern in Black Pavilion in Oxford, give me 15th-ranked Arkansas laying 3.5 on the road at Ole Miss. Arkansas has found their footing after a shaky start, while Ole Miss has been back and forth. They're in serious trouble tonight. Hogs on the road are the play here. So 18 plays last night and 19 more tonight are more than enough to get us going heading into another busy weekend that begins tomorrow. College football playoff semifinal game number 1 is the Fiesta Bowl. Kicks off at 7:30 Eastern tomorrow night on ESPN at State Farm Stadium in Glendale as 10th-ranked Miami's a 3.5-point favorite versus number 6 Mississippi, and the total set at 51.5. The Canes won their last 4 regular season games to sneak into the playoff, and they have since beaten Texas A&M and Ohio State to advance to the semis. Ole Miss's lone loss was back on October 18th at Georgia, and the Rebels won their last 5 to close out the regular season before taking out Tulane in the first round of the playoff and exacting revenge by beating Georgia in a thriller last week, the best game of the weekend. These 2 schools have not met since 1950, so it's safe to say they're not familiar with each other. Miami's offensive line and their defense have led them to where they are, along with a strong running game and quarterback Carson Beck, who, when right, doesn't turn the ball over. Sure, he doesn't put up numbers, But that's because he doesn't take any shots downfield. And they don't want him taking any shots downfield because we all know what's going to happen when he does. Everything is underneath, and as long as he doesn't turn it over, the Canes are in every single game. Ole Miss, on the other hand, had to deal with the Lane Kiffin circus and named Pete Golding their head coach, and he's conveniently led the Rebels to a couple of really nice wins behind an offense that is unpredictable and a quarterback that's just getting better. Trinidad Chambliss won the Division II national title last year at Ferris State, took over for injured Austin Simmons back in September, and he hasn't looked back. Big bruising Kewan Lacey's the feature back that pounded his way to 1,200 yards on the ground this year, and he just re-signed to come back next year. And while Chambliss is going to court to try to get another year of eligibility, if those two come back next year, watch out. That's all I got to say. Miami's offense has the edge against the Ole Miss defense, but the Rebels have proven to be a bend but don't break unit. This game will be decided, however, on the other side when Ole Miss has the ball. Miami's defense is elite, but Trinidad Chambliss is the wild card that can't be accounted for. He's put up huge numbers for the Rebels all season. While Miami was probably eyeing Georgia, they now have a different task, and if they play as well as they did against Ohio State, the Canes will advance to the national championship game at home next week. But Ole Miss is not only playing with house money since nobody expected them to win last week or this week without Kiffin, their confidence is sky high right now. So I'm going to roll with Hottie Toddy here, catching 3 in a chunk with a sprinkle on the money line.
Sprinkle me, man.
Just like that. Make sure to take over 51.5 as well because Ole Miss has taken on elite defenses all season and they just keep scoring. Now, game 2 of the CFP semifinal is the Peach Bowl, and it goes Friday night, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN at the Benzo in Hot Town, as top-ranked Indiana's a 4-point favorite versus number 5 Oregon, and the total's listed at 46.5. This game scares me. These two met October 11th in Eugene, and Indiana handed Oregon their lone loss 30-20. Indiana head coach Kirk Cignetti has completely transformed the Hoosiers from perennial loser to a national power and the undefeated top seed in his only a second season in Bloomington. After rolling to the Big Ten regular season title, Hoosier Daddy then took out traditional national powers Ohio State in the Big Ten championship and Alabama in last week's quarterfinal. Just stop and think about that, who they just beat the last 2 weeks. Miami's wins are impressive, but Indiana's are very impressive. Oregon head coach Dan Lanning. 2 wins. Sorry, I had to think back on that one. But anyway, Dan Lanning. I like Dan Lanning. He's in his 4th year at the helm in Eugene, and after wins over James Madison and a shutout of Texas Tech last week, he's got the quack attack in the semis. Oregon sports an extremely balanced offense that leans on the run, and it's led by Noah Whittington. But quarterback Dante Moore is accurate, not afraid of big moments. This is a fascinating matchup of two coaches that have no problem bearing other teams. Or whichever way this one goes, it ain't going to be no blowout. Both were extremely impressive in their quarterfinal routes as IU beat Alabama 38-3 and the Ducks beat Texas Tech 23-0. I just talked about Ole Miss exacting revenge from their lone loss by beating Georgia last week. Now it's Oregon's turn to try to do the same to Indiana. But I just don't see it. And Oregon scares me because they're good, they're talented, they're very well coached, they're disciplined, they have everything you want. But Cignetti, Kurt Cignetti famously said in his introductory press conference in Indiana, "I win. Google me." He's absolutely merciless. And until someone beats Indiana, I have to roll with them. I want to take Oregon, I really do, but I'm not. I've made a lot of money with both these schools this year, but I've also lost a couple of games by betting against Indiana. Not going to make that mistake again. Who's your daddy? -4 and under 46.5 are the plays here. NFL Wild Card Weekend gets started on Saturday. And out of the 6 games this weekend, the road team is favored in 4 of the 6, which says something about the NFL's parity in that for the first time in years, there's no true clear-cut favorite going in, like I said. Let's hit game 1 Saturday. In the NFC, 4:30 Eastern on Big Fox, Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, where the 5th-seeded Ram Chops are 10-point road favorites at 4-seed Carolina, and the total's 46.5. The Rams showed cracks in their armor down the stretch with some key losses to Seattle and Atlanta to take them out of the NFC's top seed and land them at number 5. But the Rams are fortunate in that they play the 4th-seeded Panthers, who backed their way into the playoffs after losing 3 of their last 4 and only got in when Atlanta beat New Orleans on Sunday. These two met 3 days after Thanksgiving in this same venue, and Carolina beat the Ram Chops. Can the Panthers do it again? Sure, it's possible, but it damn sure ain't likely. I just don't see it. Carolina is going to need alligator blood in this one, and they're going to need to be hanging around.
Hanging around. Kids got alligator blood.
That's what they're going to need. That's what they're going to get. Rams win, but I'll take the Panthers and the points at home, catching 10 and over 46.5. Saturday night's primetime matchup is at 8 Eastern on Amazon at Soldier Field in the Windy City. The NFC's 2nd-seeded Bears are 1-point home favorites over 7th-seeded Green Bay, and the total's 46. As division rivals, these two have already met twice this year, with the Packers winning at home in Week 1 I'm trying to think here. Yeah, back over Labor Day weekend. Then they won again in Detroit Rock City on Thanksgiving Day. But now they're underdogs in the playoffs. Caleb Williams and Jordan Love are going to be facing off against each other for years, as long as they stay put. And this one has the makings of possibly the best game of the wild card weekend. The Bears finished 11-6, won the NFC North despite losing their last 2 and 3 of their last 5. The Packers come in limping as they lost their last 4 to finish 9-7-1, and they haven't won since the win over the Bears 5 weeks ago. I'm not sold on either team to win next weekend, but one of them is going to take this one, and I like the Bears here at home to avenge both of their losses to Green Bay. Bears -1 and under 46. Those have to be the plays here. I think that's it. Am I done?
No, I'm just getting warmed up.
There we go. Sunday, we get 3 games, and the first one is in the AFC at 1 Eastern on CBS at Everbank Stadium in Duval County is 6-seeded Buffaloes, a 1.5-point road chalk at the 3rd-seeded Jaguars, and the total's 51.5. The Bills won 5 of their last 6 to finish 12-5, good for second place in the AFC East, while the Jags ripped off their last 8 to take the AFC South. The popular opinion is that Josh Allen's the AFC's best quarterback with lots of experience, where Trevor Lawrence has only played 2 playoff games so far. But when you look at it, Lawrence has just been better this season, right? As much as I like to rip on him, he has steadily improved this year, as have the Jaguars. Both teams can run it well, but the Jags' defense is much better, especially with their top-ranked rush defense. So in what some may see as an upset, I just see the better team winning and sending Buffalo to an early exit. Jack, you ready for this? I know you are. It's exactly what you wanted to hear me say. Jags at home, catching 1.5 with a sprinkle on the money line.
Big timer.
Come on, 40.
40 Sprinkle me, man.
That's it. That was just for you, Jack. By the way, I'll also take under 51.5 in that one because Jacksonville's defense is that good. Going back to the NFC on Saturday at 4:30 Eastern on Big Fox at the Link in Stoniecastas. Third-seeded Eagles are 4.5-point home favorites over 6-seed San Francisco, and the total's 45. The defending Super Bowl champion Eagles won 3 in a row down the stretch to secure the 3-seed before mailing it in last week's finale, but they still won the NFC East. The 49ers finished third in the NFC West, the best division in football, and they won 6 in a row before falling to Seattle last Saturday in a chance to garner the NFC's top seed. Now they're 6th, and they have to head cross-country in the cold to face the defending champs. SF has the advantage on offense, but they're banged up right now, and the Eagles have the advantage running the ball and on defense. Seattle ran the ball all over the Niners on Saturday, and you know Nick Sirianni is going to run the hell out of Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. 49ers are good, but they don't rush the passer, and when Brock Purdy gets knocked off of his spot, the 49er offense is based on timing, doesn't work. Eagles win this one easily and advance to the division round. Philly, -4.5, under 45. Sunday's nightcap goes back to the AFC at 8 Eastern on NBC at Shaving Cream Stadium in Foxborough. The second-seeded Patriots are 3.5-point home favorites versus the 7-seed Chargers, and the total set at 46. New England's won 13 of their last 14 games, and they went 14-3 on a very soft schedule to win the AFC East, while San Diego battled with Denver all season for the AFC West crown, but they fell just short after losing their last 2 games and finishing 11-6. Jim Harbaugh built this San Diego squad like he builds all his team. Run the football, tough defense. The thing is, New England is better in every single metric you look at in this one. They score more. They allow fewer. They run it better. They throw it better while defending better. The Chargers' edges are in sacks and in creating turnovers, and those are big. But in what could be a very exciting quarterback matchup between Justin Herbert and the probable NFL MVP and Drake May, the Chargers are tougher. But the Pats are better. I'll take New England and lay the number to go along with under 46 here. And finally, to close out Wild Card Weekend, we'll stay in the AFC and move to Monday night at 8 Eastern on ABC at the stadium formerly known as the Giant Ketchup Bottle in Steeltown, USA, where 5th-seeded Houston's a 3.5-point road favorite at 4-seed Pittsburgh, and the total's listed at 39.5. The Texans were 3-5 after losing to Denver back on November 2nd. But then they ripped off their last 9 games to finish 12-5 and second in the AFC South, while the Steelers were just struggling along all season.
Struggling.
Joe.
Struggling.
But that was you, Joe. One more time.
Struggling.
Thanks, Joe. Oh, man, did I really need that. I mean, all season long, the Steelers struggled, but they got hot late in winning 4 of their last 5 to steal the AFC North and finish 10-7. Neither team has a great offense, thus the low total. But defensively is where this one turns into a mismatch. The Texans are top 3 in every defensive metric and cause havoc on opposing offenses. This is where Pittsburgh's screwed. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers was once great, but he's old, immobile, and very, very stationary. That was an unfortunate rhyme. Houston gets pressure on opponents by only rushing 3 or 4, and they hardly ever blitz. That's because they got the best 1-2 edge rushers in the game with Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. They might actually commit murder when they decapitate Rodgers. Give me Houston -3.5 and under 39.5 to close out the week. Tell me if you know this one.
Show me the money.
No! No!
Spot for a Glock. I took a long overfloss, but still got it.
Money!
Rod Tidwell. Gotta love you, Rod. So that's it. That's 2 dogs and 4 favorites in the NFL's wild card weekend. And I have one favorite and one dog in the CFP semifinals. So that's 12 NFL plays to go along with 4 more college plays, plus 19 college hoops plays I just gave you for tonight, and daily NCAA hoops going every single day, right? So make sure to check the comments section every day. College hoops will just keep coming from now all the way until April. Also, keep your eye out for STONIECAST 196, which will drop next Friday. So until then, just remember, if you want to win big, you got to bet big. You can't go broke taking a profit. Good teams win, but great teams cover. Scared money don't make money. The less you bet, the more you lose when you win. Shout out Chris the Bear FALLICA. Now for me, the action is the juice.
Well, for me, the action is the juice. Amen.
I'm in. That's right, Mikey. The difference between winning and making money is that anyone can win betting chalk, but you can't make money unless you take the dogs. God made life a gamble, and we're still in the game. Shout out to the late, great Joe DIFFIE. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, good luck to you. And yeah, I still miss you, Gooch.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.